Disaster has struck the assembly of the CA95 1963 Honda Bentley. In the last video I posted, I had the head on and I was assembling the timing chain. There's a gear that sets right in here. The chain goes around it, comes down to the bottom of the engine, is driven off of the crankshaft. And everything was going together really nice. And I noticed that when I pinched the chain, and it's this guy right here, it's wrapped around it, I pinched it, there seemed to be a lot of movement in it. And I got to looking at it, and I could actually see in this head that when I pinched the chain, this gear moved. And I'm going, what the heck is going on there? And so at that point, I have no alternative but to pull the head off and take a look. And I did. So this is the camshaft. It rolls in there. The gear bolts on right here. Okay. This rides on the bearing surface. And this is on the other side. And so these are the 2 points of contact with the head. The cams lift the valve rocker arms when it spins. So I'm looking at it and I'm moving it, and I can take my hands when it's installed and I can push it, and there's actually, I can feel it wiggle, not a little, but quite a bit. I mean, beyond what you could feel, I could actually visibly see the camshaft moving. So I pulled it out, and this is the surface that it rides on, and it feels just a tiny bit rough. I had pulled everything apart, but I really hadn't looked inside too much. But right here is the surface that camshaft rides on, and you can see my finger back there. This surface is wobbled all the heck out, and I got to looking at it, and it's just a bore in this aluminum head. This side is fine, but this side is definitely worn out. In fact, it's worn out enough that when I wiggle the chain, it moves, and I'm pretty sure that that's why this motorcycle died, why it stopped running, because you couldn't keep this thing in time if you had to, in timing. It moved too much. It moved way too much. In fact, you can see timing marks right here, and it moved more than those timing marks, so they couldn't have kept it running. And this is not a terribly easy fix. I'm going to, well, I've already gone online and started looking for a head for it. It doesn't seem like there's any out there. I may find one if I look a little harder. I'm going to continue to look. But this bore right here is, or this surface right here is just under 30 millimeters. I mean, just a hair under. So this bore was 30 millimeters. I found a 30 millimeter bored bearing, and the outside of it is only 37 millimeters. And that would easily fit in here if this were machined out. So I'm going to take this down to a machinist and see if they can't machine this out and I can press that in. I went ahead and ordered that. I'm going to go ahead and polish this. See if I can't get a nice surface for it to ride on. Machinists can center this off the hole on this side and drill this out, and maybe we can press that bearing race. It's a bearing race, really. Maybe we can press that in Don't know what happened here, but I didn't expect it. And like I said, I've got to polish this. I'll do that. I'll show that later, but I'll do that with the old string and emery cloth, excuse me, trick. Everybody's seen it. There's plenty of videos on it. The funny thing, from here to here is 17, 18 millimeters. I found a 17 millimeter race. Gosh, man, on the internet, it's wonderful. You just look for something, you find it. So we're going to see if we can't machine it and press it in here. If not, I'll find another head for this bike, because the bottom end is all done. Everything's beautiful and fresh in there. I fixed a few things. Like I fixed a couple stripped out bolts. All the bearings are fine. Inside of it, I measured everything. Everything's within tolerance. Pistons are beautiful. They're original pistons. The cylinders, I honed them real nice. Rings are fine. So I really want to continue to put this together. It's a neat little engine. I'll keep you up to date on that. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and assemble as much of this as I can, which I really can't. The timing chain's in the very back. I can't assemble much, but I'm going to assemble as much as I can while I work on getting this done. I'll be into town a couple days from now. I live up in the National Forest, so machinist is not something we're going to find. I'll be in the town a couple days from now. I'll take it by a machinist and see what he says, and if we can fix it, great. And if we can't, we'll find another head. So that's it for now.